fun. That panel was so great. So many different viewpoints, which is just a perfect demonstration of how when we come together, we're just a collective piece of opinions and gifts, and when we truly unite that, there's such a gift in that. As I was introduced, my name's Pam Geyer. I'm an author, an entrepreneur, and I am probably one of the most passionate speakers you will hear from. Once I get this wire off here. Okay, I don't do too well anchored. It is an honor to be here today. John Griffith, you are a visionary when it comes to creating peace. This Day of Peace will certainly grow, so it's an honor to be here with all of you. What I'd love to share with you is a lot of what I've shared. I did write a book called Living Hip, Happy, Inspired, Passionate, and Peaceful. And typically what I help people do is create peace within their lives so that they can go out into the world and create more peace. So I'd love to share a little bit about the context around that. But before I do, what I'd love to do is talk a little bit about what brought us here today and part of what John shared with me that helped him with this vision. That day, down the street, just a block away, that day, our lives changed forever. The Marathon bombing. We all remember what we were doing. We will remember the disbelief, how we questioned, is that possible? We will remember we picked up the phone. We checked on loved ones, on friends that were either running or spectating on that Boston Marathon day. We will remember we turned to the news, Channel 5, the radio. We turned to Twitter, to Facebook, to get updates, to get our head around this tragic event. We will remember the feelings inside of us, the fear, the anxiety, the sorrow, the sadness, the anger, the horror, the disbelief. It was unthinkable for us. That day, we changed as a city. That day, we changed as people. That day, we changed as a community. That day, we changed as a country. Our world, as we knew it, had changed. We were far from peace when we learned about the tragic events. In fact, we were broken down to pieces. We took our broken pieces and together we created wholehearted spirit which refused to be broken, and we took the pieces of our heart that were broken and we picked back up. And we were resilient as a people, as a city, and as a nation. That day gave birth to something so beautiful. It showed us once again that in any form of darkness, there is always light. When the enemy strikes, our God is that much more powerful. We are that much more powerful, and our spirits and souls are resilient. We united, and through our love for each other, we gave birth to Boston Strong. Boston Strong and this Day of Peace represents these things: love, hope, strength, unity, faith, resilience, light, compassion. It created a spirit among us, and this spirit was all about kindness, togetherness, teamwork, respect, caring, generosity, and peace. And that peace is what brings us here today. That peace is what we need to be reminded of in our lives. So that day that was so difficult for us can continue to serve us as a day that we show what we are made of. We can bring that resiliency back into our lives. We are all resilient beings. So there was tragedy with that, but I would also argue in life, we have our own challenges, and they might not be as severe, and hopefully they're not. But every day we are faced with choices. Every day we get up and have the same opportunity to make a change and create peace in our lives. I believe, and I know that some of the panelists shared this as well, that peace begins with you. Peace begins with us. Peace begins in our hearts. So how do you create peace? I believe when you're living a life that's aligned with your core values, your core beliefs, and when you discover your purpose, you will find peace. Once you really decide what it is that you want in your life, once you live a life that has passion, besides the daily things you need to do, when you have that sense of purpose, you create peace. So peace is already in you. I believe that all of us are born with peace in our hearts. It is part of you. It is who you are. It is inside of you, and it is available to you. I know that some of you are not always feeling that peace. I understand that all of us have our challenges: financial, health, people, careers, work, jobs. Some are in crisis. Some of the strongest people, once they rip off the layers and get to the heart of the matter and follow their purpose and find their faith and trust that there is someone guiding them, be it their God or the universe or whatever your belief system is, that peace is there for you to activate. The important part of peace is not only for us to find it and live it each day, and every day it's a choice. Every single day it's a choice. It's there for you. So let that empower you. Let that inspire you. But I believe that peace happens when we share it with others. That's where the magic happens. And I don't think of peace as this flowery thing, because peace can be a difficult decision sometimes. Sometimes peace may be removing some people from your life. So it's not always a flowery thing. It's about a daily decision each day, creating the life you want and letting go of the rest, finding patience. So how do we lead with a whole heart and share that peace? We do so by kindness. Our moms were right. Be nice, or don't say anything at all. It is that simple. But unfortunately, we overlook it too much. Unfortunately, we get caught up in our lives and we get busy. Or we compare ourselves to others. Or we take things personally. Or as one of the panelists said, we live too much in our emotions. And we need to learn to take a step back and go to that place of gratitude. Go to daily gratitude every day. Oprah Winfrey was right when she told us years ago to have a gratitude journal. She was so right, because the fact is, life can be hard. Things will happen to each and every one of us. And if we are in a place of gratitude, then we create the attitude to take on whatever comes our way. And better yet, we become warriors of our own lives. We decide to own our story. And if you have not been living that way, that's okay. I've got some great news. You can change that today. So let me ask you this. Think about where you live and reside, in the way you interact with others, because it's all about bringing peace to the world. And the world is your community, it's your coffee shop, it's your dry cleaner, it's your yoga studio, it's your job, it's your neighbor, it is your family. That is where peace begins. So let me ask you this. Where do you reside? How do you interact with others, either in your head or verbally? Either way. Do you inspire or insult? Do you love or loathe? Do you encourage or discourage? Do you learn or do you know it all? Do you celebrate or do you criticize? Do you edify or do you envy? Do you build up or do you blame? Do you recognize or do you resent? Do you believe or do you berate? Do you aspire or do you attack? Do you compliment or do you compare? Do you give or do you take? Do you honor or do you hurt? Now I know in a perfect world we all do the right thing, but there are days that we all can do the wrong thing. And living a life of peace and sharing peace is being able to live in the moment, being completely focused on building your best life so that you can truly serve others with a smile, with a kind gesture. And the best, and I am sure many of you have done this, when you do it unnoticed, when it's just bringing some love, attention, recognition to others. So I'll leave with you, once again, for you to make the choice, the daily choice, the gift that is ours. The gift not only for you to make in your own life, but for you to demonstrate and edify to others. Choose grace. Choose love. Choose compassion. Choose kindness. Choose authenticity. Choose being the leader of your life. Choose peace. I have a quote here that I'd like to read. I actually included it in my chapter on living a peaceful life. And this is by Norman Vincent Peale. Start each day by affirming peaceful, contented, and happy attitudes, and your days will tend to be pleasant and successful. So, as you end your day here with the Day of Peace in Boston, we have another great speaker coming up. But really think about your life. Think about, are you living hip? Are you happy? Are you inspired? Are you passionate? And are you peaceful? And by the way, you don't need to be those feelings 100% of the time. But know that it's yours. Know it is inside of you. And know it's your birthright to live your hip life, to live your peace, and share it with others. Thank you so much. Feel free to like our Facebook page or go to our website, livinghip.com. And we do have some books here for you if you're interested, for a great price, because it's a special day and you deserve to be at peace and live hip. Thanks very much.